Now to Kenosha, Wisconsin, a city on edge with closing arguments set to begin in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse, with hundreds of National Guard members on standby. Terry Moran is there on the ground at the courthouse in Kenosha. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. This city is bracing for the conclusion of this case, which began last year in those massive protests and civil unrest following the police shooting of 29-year-old Jacob Blake, a black man. So the stakes are very high for Kenosha and for so many across the country who have been following this trial. This morning, Kyle Rittenhouse's case is nearing its end. His mother speaking out over the weekend about her son's decision to take the witness stand.
It was rough and it was heartbreaking and emotionally draining for him and for my family. I couldn't even be prouder of him.
Closing arguments will begin at 9 a.m. Central Time here, and defense attorneys are expected to hammer home what Kyle Rittenhouse claimed in that dramatic testimony last week, that he acted in self-defense. The governor of Wisconsin has put 500 National Guard troops on standby as this city braces for possible unrest. Kyle Rittenhouse faces 3 counts of homicide, among other charges, and he could be sentenced to life in prison if he's convicted of the most serious charge, first-degree intentional homicide. But prosecutors have occasionally seemed to struggle in court, with the judge angrily chastising them at times.
Don't get brazen with me.
And some of their own witnesses have given testimony more helpful to the defense. Still, the judge in this case has indicated he could include lesser charges during jury instructions. But on Fox, Kyle Rittenhouse's mother says she believes the jury will find her son not guilty.
They've been taking notes, listening to the truth, and I hope they take that into what the outcome is going to be.
The judge in this case has given the lawyers on both sides a maximum of 2.5 hours each for closing arguments today. There will be jury instructions then, and so the jury is likely to get the case by this evening. They will not be sequestered. As for Kyle Rittenhouse, he is living with his family here in Wisconsin. He's moved from Illinois, and he is awaiting his verdict. Guys?
All right, Terry, we're going to bring in ABC News Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams. So, Dan, how important are these lesser included charges?
They're very important. They allow the jury to compromise on, particularly on some of the charges where prosecutors have been having the most difficulty. But the single most important thing that the judge did is sort of peripheral to those lesser included. It's the fact that he's going to read what's called a provocation charge. And that means that he's allowing the jury to say, if you believe that Kyle Rittenhouse provoked this, then that's going to make self-defense very hard for you to invoke. Meaning he's going to then have to show that he exhausted every other possible opportunity before doing it. That is a very important instruction that the jury's going to get.
Could that be why the defense agreed to these lesser charges?
Well, look, I think there are 2 reasons here. Number one, I don't think the defense is as confident as many people outside the courtroom are that there's going to be an all-out acquittal. And number 2, I think the most important thing to them is they don't want another trial. Meaning typically a hung jury is a victory for the defense. Why? Means, okay, we get to reset. They weren't able to prove their case. We get to start again. That's the last thing the defense wants here. Things have gone as well as it possibly could have for the defense. So they'd rather have a compromise verdict than you have something like a hung jury where the prosecutors could retry him.
And given all the back and forth we've seen between the judge and the prosecution, are you surprised at the judge's ruling?
Not really. I mean, I think that some of that is overstated, meaning lawyers fight with judges in court. Judges make statements, lawyers respond, and then they move on, and there are new rulings that come up. So I wasn't that surprised, but this provocation in particular is critical because it really does potentially gut the self-defense claim that Kyle Rittenhouse could make.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.